Hello, and welcome to History News Network. I, Alyssa Tanner, am your host for today's segment, A Look Back in Time. Today is February 27th, 2023. I'm reporting live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and it has been 50 years since the occupation at Wounded Knee. The occupation was largely started by AIM, the Indian American movement, led by Russell Means, Clyde Belcourt, Dennis Banks, and several Native American leaders. They were founded as a militant political and civil rights organization in 1968. From 1969 to 1971, AIM inhabited Alcatraz Island just outside the San Francisco Bay because they claimed a treaty provision granted them the rights to any unused federal land. In November of 1972, AIM members marched on the Bureau of Indian Affairs in Washington, D.C. to protest the programs that controlled the development of reservations. Late in the evening of February 27, 1973, 200 Oglala Lakota Sioux and the members of AIM stole into Wounded Knee on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation and took 11 hostages. This was not their only occupation, nor their first. Through the years, AIM has occupied 74 locations, including Mount Rushmore and a replica of the Mayflower. They had chosen this specific location due to its symbolic historical value, the Wounded Knee Massacre in 1890. Shortly after, the area was contained by the U.S. Marshals, the FBI, and local law enforcement to keep the Native Americans there and to keep sympathizers out. The Native Americans sought the impeachment of tribal President Richard Wilson, whom they accused of corruption and abusing his opponents, and demanded an investigation. They also intended on showing the rest of the country the poor living conditions that they had been forced to survive in. In March, a U.S. Marshal was shot and paralyzed, while in April, a Cherokee and an Oglala were killed, and 8 other Native Americans severely injured. One gentleman even remarked that it reminded him of the Vietnam War with the machine gun fire constantly over their heads. The Oglala Sioux Civil Rights Organization, OSCRO, demanded a reopening of treaty negotiations because the U.S. government had failed to fulfill the treaties which were already in place. There was wide media coverage on the event itself, particularly after the press accompanied 2 U.S. senators from South Dakota to attempt to calm things down. On May 8, 1973, the U.S. Marshals and the FBI were able to negotiate the Native Americans out of Wounded Knee, but because of the damage done to the already poor community, the settlement remained unoccupied for 20 years after the event. The occupation at Wounded Knee lasted for only 71 days, but it was certainly one of AIM's greatest successes. It is a time that will never be forgotten in the hearts and memories of Native Americans. This is Alyssa Tanner of History Network News, signing out.